You are locked into Afrobeat Live.
From the motherland and beyond. Don't touch the dial.
And we are back. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Afrobeat Live. Okay. Welcome to Afrobeat Live.
I'm sorry?
So welcome to Afrobeat Live election special. Harry Baba, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And my co-host and co-partner and co-pilot, Tai Karl, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on this great election day. Exciting to be here. Let's go.
Absolutely. We've already had a morning session at 12 o'clock today with a few of our other guests talking about today, the special day, November the 3rd, election day. I am excited about it. I don't know about you guys, but to me, it's almost like Christmas because being an immigrant to this country, we realize how great this country is. The opportunities that affords us if we work hard, the freedoms that we have if we work hard, and so it's almost like a privilege to be able to vote and chart our own course and our own destiny. Harry, about do you feel the same way?
I feel the same way. I feel that this country has allowed many Africans, Nigerians, and others to not just come here, but to work. It gives you opportunity to work for schooling. We take advantages of some of the things in the system that are for the citizens here. I know many Africans have benefited from several policies as far as food, shelter, health-wise. So it's a good thing. We come here, we go to school. A lot of us get loans. A lot of us get grants. So it's not like, oh, these guys are Africans. Let's treat them this way. But when you come in, everybody's usually treated like a human being. So it's been great.
Absolutely. And I know that, like you, Tai, I treasure this country. Yes, I'm originally from Nigeria. That's my parents are there. But America gives us the opportunity to live dreams where you work hard. You don't have to be anybody. You can start from being nobody and find your way up. I came to this country January 1st, 1998. I had one bag, one shoe, 2 jeans, and 3 shirts.
Wow.
I went to grad school, had nothing. I knew no one. I knew absolutely nobody. Stepped off January 1st. It was freezing. My ears were frozen. I walked down, man. Had nothing.
Are you sure you weren't hiding on the plane in the baggage department?
My brother. One bag, 1 shoe, 2 jeans, and a couple of shirts. That's it. Knowing nobody. And because of hard work and the opportunities that people have fought for, the rights of people
died for years, actually. Yes.
I died for years. I was able to lift myself up, have a family, get married, get a job, start a business, and hopefully now doing well and have my own kids. So Tai, coming to you, how do you feel about today, man?
I mean, just like everybody else, I came into this country with little to nothing. Luckily for me, I have a family member that was here. So I joined my family. I can say I'm glad to serve in the U.S. military. So I always get excited about election. I'm a news junkie, sports junkie.
Thank you for your service, Ty. Sorry to interrupt. Thank you for your service.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, sir. So for me, it's a great day. Today has to be even a bigger day. I just literally got back. Well, when we get into it, I just got back in from DC and I saw some things that I'm like, man, it makes me really, really nervous. But yes, I can't wait till tonight.
Yeah, one thing you were talking about, Carl, I know you mentioned that just coming to this country. We have to also realize, and I think a lot of African immigrants do not realize the pain and suffering and hardship that Africans were when they were kidnapped from our own soil. They were forced into slavery. They worked for 400 years for free. They built this country. You know what I mean? They built this country on the sweat and blood of their backs. They were lynched. Many of them were raped, families separated, and they built this country. And so I think when we come here, we are benefiting from their sacrifices of 400 years of slavery and lynching and dying. We're benefiting from African Americans fighting for the rights to marry, white people fighting for the rights to vote, fighting for all these rights. So right now we come in we're benefiting for all these rights. That's why sometimes it upsets me, like, oh, why are you looking down on them? They've been through so much, and here we are, we're enjoying the fruits of their labor.
That's true. That's true. I mean, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy what's really going on, especially today.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. We were just talking about, what people that fought for this right to vote,
Exactly.
and it amazes me how people don't take this serious. They want everything else, but they, on election day, they just get lazy. I was watching MSNBC this morning. There was a lady that's 79 years old, and this is her first time voting.
Wow.
American born, American bred in Florida, and she's like, so the lady asked her, why did you decide to vote this election? She said, well, this is the first time she's actually been home to watch the news and really see what's going on and study the environment and realize that, she's made a lot of mistakes all these years by not voting.
Right.
And decided, at the rightful age of 79 to come out for her first time voting.
It used to be illegal for Blacks and Africans to vote, African Americans to vote. It used to be illegal for women to vote. So there's so many African Americans went through so much hardship. Were lynched, they were killed. There's a time we're not even allowing them to read. So we have to appreciate what they've been through. And like now, this summer, my kids are growing up there in school. Your children are in school. I don't discuss politics with them, but they see they do social study. They see what's going on. All of them know about Breonna Taylor. They know about all these people who are just killed just needlessly for no reason. And I think when I and my wife, I think I put on Facebook, I and my wife, we went to do early voting. We usually do early voting all the time anyway, voting every election, by the way. Yeah. When we came back we went out early in the morning because polls were open early voting, even 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we went out there like 6:45. We were done within the hour. There's a little line. When we got back, my daughter was like, "Hey, did you vote for Biden and Kamala?" I said, "Yeah." So they know what's at stake. Our children know what's at stake.
Yeah, it is incredible what's going on. I mean, people take this for granted. And the sad part about this is, I mean, for me, for the past 4 years, I've seen traits of what happened, in Nigeria when we had, democracy, and then you see the dissolution of the fabric of constitutional government, and you see parliamentary things being broken down slowly but surely. You see erosion of a democratic state into military regime, and then you have dictatorship, and now you have nothing. Right now we have absolutely nothing, and so it's more important for us, my family, to wake my kids up to realize, look, don't take this for granted. Democracy is only as good as those who uphold it. If you don't fight for it to keep it, it will dissolve because the forces around the world, right, who are trying to break the democracy down. You have to fight for it. You have to work for it. And so it's not just, I'm just going to vote today and that's it. No, you have to stay on it.
You have to continue. The fight goes on. And the funny thing is, the people that complain the most in some issues, even back home in Nigeria, the majority of people that complain, they didn't even vote in the last election. Some of them, So if you don't vote, don't complain. Don't complain about this and that. And the people who need to vote the most are those who are vulnerable in our society, who need policies to help them, stand on their own 2 feet. Everybody wants to work. Everybody wants to hustle. But there's some of us out here, a community, who are going through some hard times, and we need a government that has empathy and compassion. And this current administration does not have that, especially for the poor, especially for African Americans, immigrants, Hispanic. This current administration doesn't have that. All their policies, a majority of the policies benefit the top 1%. And this PPE thing, when COVID came in, a lot of these companies are already rich, got millions and billions of dollars meant for people, for teachers and schools and hospitals. So when you're hearing about shortages somewhere, somebody was chopping somewhere. It's just like a whole, I wouldn't want to use the term Niger politics.
Well, how you think about it? I've always said that the difference between Niger and these places is that over here, everybody has water, has light, can go to school, can get a job, right? You can do those things, right? So people are chopping. Okay, people are chopping. Yeah, you're still getting things that you need. You still have healthcare, you can get a mortgage, you can do those things. Right? In Niger, those is not one day. Right. But the problem is that people don't realize that those things they're not by themselves exist. People have to fight for those things, keep them in place. People have to pass laws for people to get housing. You have to pass laws to make sure the schools are not segregated. You have to make sure that you fight for rights for people who are Muslim or non-Christian or whatever. You have to fight for those things. Because
you have to fight to hold people accountable. I think the situation in Nigeria is people do what they want because they can get away with it. There's no accountability for our politicians. There's no accountability for our leaders. Some of the people are telling me, but there's this thing called immunity. That immunity has to go. These people just chop and chop and chop. They don't care. The masses are literally dying on the streets. Literally, poor health care, no food, no light. I mean, it's just crazy. So here in America, let's talk about the situation here. I was talking to, I was on another show with Aubrey and News with Aubrey, and I was telling her about the cost or price of racism. When there is no cost or price on that racism, then they can feel that, okay, we can just do this and nothing will happen. Let me give you an example. So if someone, let's say all these Karens, right, they're calling the police. Let's say you and your kids, Carl, going to the park with your son, your kids, and you guys are playing soccer. Oyibo woman can just come and, I have nothing against Oyibo. I love Oyibo. So, we're all human beings, but there are some races out there. So Oyibo woman and Karen can just call the police on you, say, oh, she doesn't like the way you're treating you or whatever, and the police can come. They're ready to shoot you. But when you put in a law, say if you just make a frivolous call like that and you can be charged with a misdemeanor, that's the cost of racism. So you have to make them pay for it. So the police in this country, they kill a black person, nothing happens. They go keep doing it. Just like in Nigeria, they rob, they defraud the people, they take all the resources, they steal. They can get away with it. They're going to keep doing it until we hold these people accountable.
Yeah, and Tai, this is, again, going to come to you, Tai. This is why I think today, it's especially today of all days, of all years,
right,
it's really important for everyone to get out and vote. People don't understand what's at stake, really. People are still, running around, kind of going to work, eating their lunch, eating their pasta, doing whatever they want to do. These guys don't know what they're dealing with. I'm telling you the fact, because, everything comes to a full stop. Yeah. Because I tell you, if this continues on, we will not have a country again, frankly. Maybe I'm traumatized because I've seen this growing up, in Nigeria, where you had Abacha, you had Babangida. We saw what happened today. Look at Nigeria today.
Right.
Yeah. Democracy is only as good as those who keep it.
So my biggest issue with this election is people that are not taking it serious, that are not helping people to vote, are not, donating to the right cause, to the people that you believe in. Because if you look at this election, this is one of the craziest elections. Sunday, I was driving to my son's game, driving from Upper Marlboro to Loudoun, Virginia. Yeah. There was a bunch of Trump rallying people that were holding up traffic for miles. I don't know if you guys have seen that. For miles.
I didn't know it happened around here, but I know it happened in North Carolina, I believe.
It happened out here.
Wow.
It also happened in the Northeast. I think New Jersey, where they actually blocked the bridge.
Really?
And
they got away with it.
So I just came from DC right now. I had to run a quick errand to DC. A lot of shops are boarded up right now.
Right.
So people are worried about what's the backlash of this. So my question to you guys is, I know you two are taking it, this election serious. I'm taking it serious. Right. Most of the people that we know in our inner circle are taking it serious.
Right.
If, regardless of who wins, what do you guys think about what's going to happen tonight or tomorrow?
I think it all depends on the magnitude of the win or loss. If Mr. Biden wins, blows out, we're talking about, wins like Texas, wins like North Carolina, right? Wins like Michigan and Pennsylvania, blows out. What are you arguing about? Well, there's nothing to argue about. So just call this guy and say, oh boy, look, you lost them now. Come on, time is up. There's no point arguing. Now, if it's close and there's like debate around, absentee ballots or mail-in ballots or whatever it is, that could cause an issue. But I really believe that Americans are smart enough to know when a guy is not serious, when the guy doesn't have their interest at heart. I think they're smart enough to recognize that. Because I don't think anybody is stupid enough to say, this guy is really, really working for me when he doesn't care about himself. Why would I go and risk myself and go out there and carry gun and start, harassing other people when the guy doesn't care about me?
So, Harry, before you go, I wanted to make this statement, right? So, Kyle, I don't think it's that simple, right? It's not about if a guy cares about them or not, right? I know people that I know personally that's saying, "Oh yeah, they're voting for Trump," and I asked them why. What is your reason? Oh, Biden is going to raise my tax. I'm like, okay. First of all, you don't make over $400,000, and second of all, you're misinformed. You don't understand what you're saying. You're not in a tax bracket where the tax is going to affect you. I also know people that say, okay, they're voting for Trump because, Trump, believe it or not, I know this sounds crazy, but it's a fact. They said Trump is a religious man. Is God sent, and I'm like, okay, that is the other thing, but people actually believe it, So
I hear you, but the question is that enough for you to go out on the streets and start attacking shops and attacking people?
So, I mean, again, I'm going to throw it out there. There are people that are racist just like him, that even if Trump loses big, right? We all know how he is. He's going to say, oh, it was rigged. It's a lie.
And you have to remember this, Ty, that Trump is the one. They're going to wait for him to remember he did that thing about stand by and stand out. All these people are watching him, and if he says it was rigged, they're going to go out. Who knows what they'll do? So, but I hear you. If Biden has a blowout, that maybe they say, okay, you know what I'm saying? They might scale back, but that's why everybody's boarding up. They boarded up the White House as well. They put a big gate around the White House. But
let me turn the question around another way.
Okay.
Do you really think that the United States of America, this whole country, the Constitution, the armed forces, the judges, are willing to let this country descend into chaos because one crazy guy feels that he won when he didn't win? You really think that the whole apparatus of the U.S. entity itself will let 400 years of history come to chaos because of one guy? I don't think so. I really don't think that this country is like that. I think that this country is sensible enough to realize that, look, boy, okay, there'll be some skirmishes, but fundamentally they will say, look, dude, you lost. People have spoken, move out. I don't think you allow this guy to create the kind of chaos that we've seen in countries where there's fighting and riots and destruction and fight, and almost war. I think sensible people will prevail at the end of the day.
So I would like to think sensible people will prevail. But remember, during the Black Lives Matter, how difficult is it for you to say another human being's life matter? But there are still people in this country that were still fighting against it. And I'm not talking about people that are fighting against Antifa and all those other groups. There were still people that were fighting and says, okay, we know. How can you say Black Lives Matter? Blue lives matter too. All lives matter. So these things are common sense. You would think they're common sense. But there are people in this same country that are fighting against it. So even if he loses, there are people that will still say it was rigged.
Right.
Either way, they'll say it's rigged. But the same country voted for Barack Obama twice.
Right.
The same country. So this is where my own hope comes from. That within this country, within all the madness that's happening, there's still better angels within the country who say, oh boy, this thing is too much. The same country voted for Barack Obama not once, but twice, overwhelmingly. Right?
But Carl, let me ask you. So right now they're blocking traffic everywhere. What's going to prevent them from doing the same and shooting people if this man?
How many of the population is blocking traffic now? Because people like us not come out now. Not the fact with that now. If every Democrat said they're going to block traffic, everything is shut down now.
Okay.
But because we're saying, look, I'm not going to do that kind of stuff, block traffic. What's the point of that? Right? I believe there are more people who are sensible than the people who are not sensible in this country.
I believe so too. I believe that. I always say I think there's more good people in this country than there are bad. I think a lot of people have been brainwashed by a lot of this stuff. That I think Trump had his whole game plan is just white supremacy, just to increase the population of white people in America. That is my belief. I don't know if everybody else believe it. And he designed his policy that way. Yeah. Building the wall stops Hispanics. Banning Nigerians stops smart people from coming into the country. So everything is banned, stop. And then so take note that this guy that I think they just put a $2 million bond on the Kenosha guy that killed 2 people in Wisconsin. Evangelical Christians paid $1 million to his GoFund. So there's a lot of rhetoric and there's a lot of hate and racism right now. Like I just wrote on my post, they destroyed Christianity. Modern Christianity is totally destroyed. The body of Christ, all of that stuff is totally destroyed. If all you care about is abortions and gays, but you don't care about people being shot and killed and racism and all of that, man, you're out of it. So. But what I do say as Democrats and liberals and progressive, I think that in 2016, it was not properly communicated
Yeah.
by Democrats
Yeah.
that the Supreme Court was at stake. It was not properly communicated because people say, "Why should I vote?" Why? It's not being. They don't understand that it affects them. A lot of the people who don't vote are on Obamacare. It's not called Obamacare. A lot of people are on food. I was in the grocery store. This lady, the lady that I saw in front of me in the grocery store, she had a food stamp card. I mean, you look at the lady, you will not even, oh, look, this is a Igbo lady. Wow, So a lot of people depend on these services, but they fill their heads with hate. They don't understand you're voting against your own interests. So they don't understand it. They don't understand their vote counts. That their vote counts in the county.
On the flip side, again, I still go back to those are not the majority. The majority, even against Hillary Clinton, she actually won the popular vote by 3 million votes.
Yes.
Right. So the majority of this country are good people. They get it. They get the fact of being progressive. I mean, I'm not a Democrat by affiliation. I'm actually an independent. Right. But the things that I know that are true, things that align with my faith. Right. Justice, equity, helping the poor, helping the needy.
Yes.
Freedom of choice. Again, let's go back to the whole abortion issue. It's not my business, right, to govern what choice you make. If God wanted to, we don't. When we sin or do things that are wrong, the dog smack us on the head. It gives us a choice. You make a choice. It's between you and your God.
That's why we're made in His own image. When the Bible said we're made in God's image, that image is His will. We're able to make that decision.
I think that there are more people here in this country who understand that as a society, we are accountable to each other. We have to help each other. We have to figure out to give healthcare, to give working people, money to alleviate poverty, give kids school, give all those things. And I'm hoping that if people turn out today, as they should turn out, in 2008, in 2012, Mr. Biden should win it. The Electoral College is the issue. Can we convince people in Pennsylvania, Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Arizona, even North Carolina, South Carolina, can they turn and do what's in their own interest?
They can. We had 100 million people that voted. I think that's 70% of the total amount of people that voted in 2016. 72% of the total amount of people so 100 million people that voted, mail-in ballots and early voting. So.
Right.
The early voting so far has been looking really, really good. So I'm glad a lot of people voted early. And if you look at it, most of the people, I think by the numbers, I was trying to pull it up, but I couldn't find it again. A lot of young people came out early. A lot of Black people came out early. So
they have really the demographics for that?
Yeah, I saw it somewhere last night, but I can't find it.
Because be honest with you, when he said, because I usually vote early all the time. Me and my wife, we always early voting because it used to be right across the street, but they moved it a little bit. But I think when he said stand by and stand up, people were like, nah, man, make we go vote now. Like nobody wants to get shot, man. But policies are starting to catch up.
Sorry, go ahead. No, sorry, go ahead.
The thing about Karl and Tai is that the average person is not aware of the policies of the benefit of voting, how voting affects them and their daily lives. And they don't understand, some of them don't understand that when you vote in the right legislator or the right people into your county or your city, those people now say, okay, let's see what's going on in the city. Let's do the roads, the schools and things like that. Vote. So you have to do your research and say, okay, the schools are not good over here, or the roads are bad over here, or my taxes or whatever issues you have concern health-wise or hospitals. That's you have to vote. You can't just say, voting does it every day. People don't have to understand. You have to. Now, the Supreme Court, the reason why the courts are important, because those people go in there for lifetime appointments. So if they're all mostly conservative, then they're going to be voting on putting forth rules and laws that are going to hurt you and your generation, your kids. So in 2016, there are too much focus on emails in Benghazi, and guess what? Right after the election, guess what? Nobody talked about emails in Benghazi anymore, right? The Republicans won because they won here. We have to. I don't know.
But I think over the past 4 years, I think one lesson that Democrats and independents have learned, and good meaning with Republicans as well, Republicans who have a sense, is they've learned that all these tricks we're not going to fall for. People have become much more aware. The role of the media, CNN, MSNBC, to expose all this information has made people really smart about what's happening in politics and all the games that we played. So everybody's now aware. So
especially MSNBC, but CNN, they after he insulted them over and over, they say, okay, you know what, let's
Yeah, the we can make our minds up and think about, okay, We've seen this trick before. We know what's going on. For me, I was not surprised with all these tricks. I said from day one, and I never seen anything yet. Meaning that you guys haven't seen anything yet, because once this guy entered office, right, everything you guys be crying like, wow. We've seen this before.
But I didn't think it would be this bad, Carl. I didn't think it would be this bad. He is the worst president this country has ever seen in history. Horrible, horrible.
Remember,
oh my God.
5 years ago, we said Mobutu Sese Seko has reincarnated as a Wimbo man running the White House. It's essentially
crazy.
That's what's going on.
Carl, do you know, when Barack Obama was in office for 8 years, my kids grew up during Barack, and I'm blessed for my kids who have grown up seeing Barack and seeing, Michelle. We used to watch, the TV used to be on, but you can't put Trump on because he will say something nasty and disgusting or whatever. So when he comes out to turn off the TV or change the channel, I think people are tired after his reaction to the Kenosha. I think people just started to see how he reacts when black people are killed. Black people are like, okay, yeah, criminal justice reform. If those of us who are educated that Barack Obama started, remember Barack Obama was the first sitting president to go visit people in the prisons.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't do research. That's one thing.
I'll tell you what got me. What really, I mean, if there's anything that got me of all the things, so everything that he's done, it was like I expected it. There's one thing that really got me was when he went through the protesters in, I think it was June, went to that church.
Okay.
I
know that church is in DC. Yeah.
Carried that Bible upside down. That thing really hit home. It really was like,
because he's saying oh, these people are stupid. Let me just hold the Bible. They'll call me. You know what they call him? Someone was telling me that he was endorsed by God, that he was anointed by God, that God sent him. Yeah. He knows Christians, and he knows these people are stupid. He's like, these people are ignorant. I mean, he said it himself in one of these meetings. These people are so dumb. All I got to do is say, yeah, Bible, ho ho ho, and they just fall in line. It's a shame. People are so gullible.
I mean, the purpose of this session today is just to talk about all this stuff and talk about how we're preparing for today. I've been up all night talking to folks in Pennsylvania and Michigan. Okay. I've been begging them to go vote. This is my third time of voting as a U.S. citizen. I think I became a U.S. citizen in 2005, so I wasn't able to do 2005, 2009. So I wasn't able to do the first Obama one. I did the second Obama one. So for me, it's amazing. The first time I ever voted was when I voted in Nigeria for Abiola in Hope 93. I remember that when I was 18 or 19 years old, 20 years old. And I remember going out to go and vote. And so for me, the constitutional duty of every citizen is to participate in the polity of the country, to make a better life for yourself or for your children's children. And that's what we're doing today, right, Tai? We're trying to make a better future for our children and our children's children.
Right.
So we can live in peace and harmony, we can grow.
Yeah. And I say Shy Bell is, saying what I was saying earlier, that, all stores are closed early. Stores are out of toiletries and, anything,
Yeah. So let me see if I can answer that. So the stores are out of toiletries. It's right now because of, let me just be honest, the MAGA people are driving around in pickup trucks with guns.
I'm worried.
Right. So people are worried. He told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. That was on national TV. He literally has people with guns, and these are his people. They're ready. Everybody's afraid. The stores are afraid that there's going to be some kind of a war.
Harry, let's all calm down 1 minute.
No, it's not me. Not calm. People are out there panic buying.
Harry,
go ahead.
1 minute. You really think these bloody cowards can stand up to the U.S. military? You really think that these guys can start doing
Carl, but Carl, that's not the point. But I'm answering her question. Carl, wait. I'm answering her question. Why are everything's running out? Because they're afraid there's going to be a race war. That is that.
So Harry, things run out when there's a snowstorm. Things run out. Let's calm down.
Carl, come on, man. Carl, I'm telling you the reality.
Harry, I'm telling you the reality of the situation is, they're running around let me finish. They're running around all this stuff. The reality is, these guys are cowards from the pit of hell.
People don't know that.
Hold on. When push comes to
they block traffic.
You think these guys really want to go through a civil war? You really think so? That they're going to get out and start creating a civil war?
Carl, the way me and you think are different, Carl. The way me and you think are different. Listen to me, because I went to the studio, I didn't stock up. Listen to me, Carl. What I'm saying is people don't want to take chances. People, let me say, why do we have over 100 million people early voting, Carl? Because they're afraid that this guy is going to call his MAGA people with guns and start shooting in the streets, Carl. That is why people voting early. So people that want to get their supplies so that they're in their house. When the shooting starts...
Harry, ain't no shooting going to start anywhere.
Carl, listen
Carl, Carl,
let me explain. Let me explain.
Hold on one second.
No, Carl, but Carl, we have to answer the lady's question. We have to answer. You may believe that, but we have to answer why stuff is running out. Why stuff is running out? Because people are afraid there's going to be a race war.
Stuff runs out. Stuff runs out when there's a snowstorm. It happens every. This is America. People panic.
Carl, do you go to the store? Nothing has. Carl, do you go to the store? Nothing has run out. I believe in the America, right? That is too good to allow a madman tear the whole 400 years of history down. I believe this country will stand up. Carl, what you're saying is your opinion. I'm telling her why stuff is running out, and what I'm saying is,
I'm telling you, stuff runs out when there's a snowstorm.
No, this is different, Carl. This is Carl. Why, Carl? Let me say something, Carl.
Harry, let me say something real quick.
Carl, you're stubborn, no?
I'm telling you the reality of what I believe.
No, Carl, hold on one second.
Hold
on 1 second, right? There's no snowstorm today, right? There's never been any election. I've been in America since 1992. There's never been any election that people are buying the store like it's a snowstorm. There's never been any election where FBI, CIA are saying that they're overwhelmed with every resources they have. Now, what we are saying is we don't disagree that the good people will not let this happen. What we are saying is the fear that some people are feeling. Did you seen the video of the girl on Facebook? I think I sent it to you, that was surrounded by MAGA people.
And she was white though, and if she wasn't white, they would have shot her.
Hold on 1 second, Carl. Hold on 1 second.
Hold on, let me finish, Carl.
So what we're saying is, yes, ultimately, the good will overcome the bad. But is there going to be a process? Let me go back to the Black Lives Matter, right? Again, this shouldn't be an issue. But you know how many people lost their lives? Look at the guy that was jogging, the African guy, I forgot his name, that was simply jogging. Thank you. That was simply jogging, that was attacked.
And all of us jog.
I hear you. What I'm saying back is, I hear you. There are fears. But I believe that in this country, that there are better angels that will not allow that kind of madness to subsume. Because if it happens, then we might as well just go to the whole world war. Because it's going to happen.
Somebody walked by the police and shot 2 people and walked back by the police and nothing happened, Carl. These MAGA people are blocking traffic. These MAGA people are killing people, Carl. So people do not want to take chances.
I don't dispute that. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. There's nothing.
But I'm trying to tell you, people are afraid. People are afraid. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Harry, again, hear me out. I'm not saying people are not afraid. I'm not saying
that's why stuff is running out, because they feel they might be
Harry, stuff runs out when there's a snowstorm. I'm not saying people are not afraid.
Okay, Carl, check this out.
Hear me out. I'm not saying people are not afraid. What I'm saying is that the reality is, at the end of the day, the good will overcome. These guys are cowards.
We're not disagreeing with that either.
This country, I believe in this country well enough.
Carl, you're saying something different than what we're saying. Carl, well, let me ask you, this is the first time, to back up what Tai is saying, this is the first time in this country during an election that the White House they're building a fence around the White House. Carl.
Harry, there was a fence there a couple of weeks ago.
Why are they doing that, Carl?
I went down there myself. Why? Harry. See, what I don't want us to do, I don't want us to create this hyperbole panic.
Okay.
Right? So far, everything's going on well.
Okay.
Right? But I really believe that at the end of the day, people are cowards. People will say crap when they want to say crap. People ride around in trucks. Right? If you're gonna enter road,
semi-automatic rifle, not guns though. They have semi-automatic weapons.
You see other guys they by this time not get.
These are the people that shoot up schools, Carl. These are the people that shoot up schools.
Other boys get weapons.
They shoot up schools.
Harry. Now the cows they come off a road. It's cowards that come out.
Okay, Carl, I agree with you to a point. I believe I believe that they'll get a control of it, but they're taking precautions. The White House, they're putting stuff around the White House. They're finishing the food in the stores. So I believe that they're just being precautious, and the people are afraid. That's it.
But Harry, what I don't want to happen is that they create this intimidated atmosphere that people go out and vote. That's what they're trying to do.
So, Carl, let me ask you this question, right? Why do you think the stores are being boarded up right now?
People are taking precautions, which is fair.
That's what we're
saying.
Why this election? Why, Carl? Why are they taking precautions?
That's why. I don't know. Last election, there was no. This precaution was not taken.
People are taking precautions. But
why?
It's because people want to protect their property.
So, Carl,
why? Why did they do that the last election, Carl, or election before that? Why now, Carl?
Because I'll tell you why. During June, didn't they board up things during June when there were protests?
That was not election.
What happened afterwards?
That was not election.
Wait. And what happened afterwards?
Carl,
so we should look at those and be quiet. And people should go out.
Listen to what we're saying. What we're saying is this is the first election. Right?
I hear you.
Generation.
I hear you. I hear you. But what I'm trying to say is what I don't want to happen is to propagate this fear and hyperbole.
So the fear is already there. I didn't know the stores were already cleared out. Carl, people are clearing out the stores, Carl. They're already afraid, Carl. But they're voting. People are voting. 100 million people have voted.
Did I say people are not afraid?
People are voting.
Did I say people are not afraid?
So why are we arguing that?
I don't know what we're discussing is. What I'm saying is that I don't want you to propagate this fear.
Nobody is propagating. We're saying
what we're saying right now. That they're going to do the magazines. They are carrying guns. They're going to shoot people. They're going to go around do this.
But they are.
Do not buy into the fear that's been propagated. Go and vote. Do not be intimidated. Go and vote. The whole purpose of this thing is to intimidate you not to go to the polls. That's my point.
You Man City guys are stubborn. Stubborn goes like Vincent.
Man City guys. The fact that we know the tricks, Harry. I grew up in Nigeria. I went to school in Nigeria. We know all the tricks.
I went to school in Nigeria too. We all did.
Intimidation, right? Of what they're trying to do. It's all about voter intimidation. We cannot allow.
Carl, let me say this. So let's say I feel the same way you do, or other people feel the same, but they have wives, they have children at home. So basically, it's like, you know what? Let me just stock up just in case, and that's what people do. That's what people are doing. That's it. Yeah. And the White House said, well, we like the way Carl thinks, but let's just board up the White House just in case Wahala come. Let's just put just in case Wahala come. Because the person in the White House has people behind him who are ready to do bad things and who have done, like I say it again, somebody had a gun, they walked down the street in Wisconsin, Kenosha, shot 2 people and walked right by police. My brother, have you ever seen such a thing?
Harry, at the end of the day, this country cannot afford for it to get into civil unrest. It cannot afford it. The world cannot afford it. What I'm trying to get people to understand is go out and vote. Do not be intimidated by these mad people, these cowards. Do your constitutional duty. Vote. The only way you're going to overcome this is by having an overwhelming majority at the polls. Don't be afraid of these people.
Carl, they can go and vote, and they can still go to Walmart, Carl, and Target. They can vote and still go to Target, Carl, and on Costco and Sam's Club.
Let me say this, right? Sorry, guys. We need to wrap this up anyway. But what we're saying is, we're not afraid. It's not about being afraid. We are basically stating what is happening. I was literally in DC 45 minutes ago.
Nobody's disagreeing with you, Tai.
Carl, let him finish now. Carl, let him finish, please, Carl. Stop.
I was in DC at 1 o'clock. When you called me earlier, remember I told you I was driving. I was in DC 45 minutes ago. And I drove by, I forgot the name of the streets off of New York Avenue where all the stores are, right? Everything was being boarded up like it was a protest that was happening during Black Lives Matter. We are not saying we are afraid. We are not saying people should be afraid. What we're saying is we are seeing things we have never seen in American election. I've been in America since 92. I've never seen where DC is being boarded up. People are being overly cautious of what's going to happen after the election. Is what we're saying.
I agree with you. But what I'm saying to you, what I'm saying back to you is that nothing is going to happen after this election.
Okay, so
let me finish. This guy.
That's what we're hoping for.
hold on, this guy, nothing will happen. I believe in this guy, nothing will happen. This guy is going to lose by the grace of God and is going to get the F out.
Amen.
He's going to get the F out.
I agree.
Right? And every crime that has been prosecuted, that's committed, he should be held accountable for it. 230,000 people have died because of his incompetence. It has to stop somewhere. We cannot become the laughingstock of the whole world because of one guy and his family. It cannot continue on.
We agree. We agree. And I think so. Getting back to voting, which is the reason why we're here, I think people who are watching this, voting matters. Trust me, it does. I studied this thing. The people you put in office matter to you and your family. The laws that are passed, the policies that are made affect everybody. Look at this. Shebi, he passed one policy and he stopped an entire country of 200 million Nigerians from coming to America for 4 years. So who you put in office matters. Your healthcare, there's 30 million people on healthcare right now. Everybody says they're pro-life. 30 million people, a lot of those people are children. If this guy cancels the healthcare, a lot of these children will not have healthcare, but we're pro-life. We have there's a program called CARE. I can't remember the name. Is CARE for children. Children who are poor, maybe the parents poor. He canceled the program. It's like CARE or something. He canceled the program. I think they were trying to cancel the program. It's like, but they say they're Christians. They say they're evangelical and they care. They're pro-life, but their policies show otherwise. Voting, get out there and vote is your right. You have to vote. Look at the people in your county, in your city, in your state. Harry, vote for the right people, my people. Please vote.
And Tai and Harry, this is why
every election, midterms too. Midterms is even the most important ones.
Let's focus on the one right now. Let's focus on one right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is unsustainable. The last 4 years, it's unsustainable. And for anybody who thinks, this is just doing the stuff, it's just going to pass. This is what leads to the collapse of democracies.
That's true.
Believe it.
He has to go.
I can point you to my beloved Nigeria. This is how democracies collapse. Through chaos. Rome was the greatest empire the world had ever known. Greatest empire.
Yeah, that's true.
Of Europe.
And they never knew they could fall.
Corruption from within. The very same thing with a leader who was mad. That's Octavian, who went mad and with power. Nero went mad with power.
Yeah, I heard about Nero, yeah.
This election is an election of a lifetime, and we have to get out there to defend democracy, to defend America, to make this country the more perfect union inscribed by the founders 400 years ago. Even though this country has problems, we know they have problems with racism, systemic racism, we strive for a better and more perfect union. I mean, what are we going to go back to Nigeria and do what? Take our kids back to do what?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what they know. Get out there and vote, guys. Your life depends on it. Literally,
you're right.
Like I guarantee you, they win. They put all their bodies in government and in the private sector. You won't be getting a job. You won't be getting a job, and then you're off your healthcare, and then you get sick, and then you lose your house.
Exactly. And remember, many of us in the African community, even though have caught COVID and survived COVID, that's a pre-existing condition. So if this guy wins again, and you get sick and you need some expensive operation, you have he's taking away Obamacare. That affects all other health insurances. People don't understand it affects the health insurance you have on your job across the board. Yeah.
No, it's and this is, I mean, we're all passionate about this stuff, and maybe my own passion too sometimes exudes me. But these are my brothers who are here. I love them tremendously. Ride or die guys. We have the same mindset. We have the same passion. We love the same sports. But this is not about any sports or about, this is about our children.
Our children, you're right.
It's about our children.
Right.
But it's not about even our children. It's about everybody's children. I mean, there's nothing more beautiful. Tai and I coach sports. To see a white kid, an Indian kid, a black kid.
Everybody together. Yeah, I remember I used to coach back in the days too.
It's such a beautiful thing. There's no other country in the whole world that has it that way.
Mm-hmm. When I coached back then,
one guy's ego.
Exactly. When I coached my daughters back then, I think when they were 3 or 4, Tai, you remember now?
Yeah.
And we had, I think our main strikers had Mexicans, we had Indian, we had African, Ghanaian, everybody playing together as one. That's what it is all about, man. It's about putting in people in power that have empathy and compassion for the constituent, for the people. So the problem, for example, with Nigeria is the leaders do not have any compassion or empathy for the people. They don't care. So this administration is similar to the Nigerian government in a way that this current Trump administration has zero empathy, zero compassion for the people who are struggling, who are suffering, for the minorities, for whatever. So that's why we want them out. So Nigeria, in order for Nigeria to get better, we need to find people who have empathy and compassion for the people of Nigeria, and the youth are speaking out. So hopefully,
I
as well.
personally think this administration is worse than Nigeria, because Nigeria never had a good setup. You know what I mean? So it's bad to bad to bad to bad to bad. This is good to bad, and it's because few selected of people believe that the election of Obama is taking away power from them. So they have to find a way to grab it back.
That's a good point.
Whoever is going to support that agenda is who they want, and this is why this whole MAGA thing is. We've had this before. Remember, during the Obama administration, we had the Tea Party.
The Tea Party, right? They came out.
The Tea Party now, they're completely gone. It's now MAGA, MAGA people that are there. So we're always going to have this. It's never going to end. Racism will never end. You know what I mean? Greed will never end. And that's why I say everything we're talking about earlier, we all kind of agree. We're just pointing out what is really, really going on right now. It's just like when 45 lose tonight, a lot of these mega people, they're going to go back in their little hole, in their little community, and kind of silence until they find somebody else they can cling on. It is what it is. Some people just don't like other people. Some people just don't like the fact that they don't want to be equal to anybody else. They
want to be superior.
It's just like the current president we have. He just has to lie about everything. Everything has to be about him. He has to be the center of attention. And when he doesn't get it, he throws a tantrum like a kid. Everybody's down around the world. You say, oh, COVID is nothing, it's nothing to worry about. You get COVID, you're still going around and shaking people. Oh, you can recover from it, not knowing that it's not everybody that have a hospital in their house or a helicopter that's ready to take them to Walter Reed. He doesn't care. So at the end of the day, I think we're all saying the same thing. Let's go out and vote. I think we're going to have one more show after the election. I don't know when it is, but I know tomorrow we're going to talk about the election on the hour with Jetty. But we're going to have some election special just to kind of wrap up and see and talk about how the whole things went. So
yeah, I think we should wait, because I don't think all the votes will be counted by tomorrow, because of all the mail-in ballots. I think by Thursday.
I think it depends on what comes in from Texas, South Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania. If we see early signs that, hey, Texas looks like it's going blue, which is unlikely, but could happen based on the early votes, that could be significant. Yeah, it could be significant.
I wish Mitch McConnell, not only Trump, I want Mitch McConnell gone as well. That guy is just just the Satan's cousin, uncle or something. I'm telling you, man.
Well, I think the good thing now, Terry, is that people now understand that when they vote, they have to vote down ballot, right? They have to vote all the way down the ballot, right? So, like in the midterms, make sure you vote in the midterms, as you mentioned.
Yeah,
House.
You got to. Midterms matter.
Know what their
midterms matter. Voting matters, my people. Voting matters. Everybody vote. Do it, man. Do it for your children. It matters. The policies matter. Who's in the White House matters. Look how Obama, everybody was happy with Obama, and all of a sudden this guy comes in, and it's just one specific group of people, the MAGA evangelicals who who are benefiting. You know what I mean? And the funny thing is, these people down south in Mississippi and Alabama and all these people who are living in they're poor. A lot of them are poor. They're voting. They're voting for millionaires to get tax breaks.
There's a theory out there. There's a theory out there that the Civil War is still going on. It's just a Cold War. Right? Think about the South, the slavery thing, right? They fought because they wanted to keep slaves. The whole Confederate.
Make America great again is when we're all slaves. Make America great again when blacks knew their place. When they want to stop Hispanics because they believe Hispanic population is growing. They want to stop blacks, especially Nigerians. Nigerians are smart. They say, who are the smartest blacks in the country? How do we stop? Well, they're Nigerians. So we need to stop them from coming in.
There are many people who don't look like us who are actually aligned with the way we think. Right. But the minority will always have that voice because hate is loud for a while, but then love will conquers all and quiets for a while. So, let's see what happens tonight. I'm hopeful. I had a dream last night.
What was your dream?
I saw the guy in a dream, man. He had a
Who, Biden or who?
no,
saw?
the beast. Now I saw him in a dream.
Trump.
He had one eye, was blind. So I'm hoping that Uncle Joe gives him a blinder with ice cream.
With ice cream.
You know, I'm ready to celebrate tonight. I don't know about you guys. You know, I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either. Like I said, I'm going to get my hopes up, but I trust I believe Biden will win. I just don't think that the result will come early because of the number of mail-in votings. But I believe at least by Thursday, by tomorrow, we'll know. You know, but we got to win, man. We got to win it. It's for our kids, for our families. We got to win it.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been great.
Are there any questions in the? Are any questions in there?
No, I think everybody just commented on what we're saying. Thank you, Nana Aya, for joining. Michael Bodozier and everybody.
Hey, Mike, what's good, bro?
There are too many Chelsea fans on here right now.
Oh, who is Nana? Now come see Trauma causing nightmares.
Oh, no. I think it's a lady. I don't think she's Chelsea. I know she's not Chelsea.
Yeah, as long as it's blue, I don't really mind anyway. So
right.
It's not red. But on a serious note, looking forward to tonight. We wish Uncle Joe the best.
Yes.
We wish Sister Kamala,
yes.
You know, all success. We wish Democratic Party good luck.
Yes.
And everybody, please go out and vote. I beg of you.
If you haven't voted, the voting doesn't end until 8. Now, everybody, if you're in line at 8 o'clock, they will not close the door. They're going to wait till everybody in that line has votes. So even if you get to the voting booth, it's very important you understand that if you're in line and it's 8 o'clock, do not go home. Everybody in line will vote. So they'll keep the door open until everybody in that line is done.
Okay. All right. So just to wrap up, everyone, Tai, should we share Paje's video? I think I like it.
Yeah, we can. Can we watch it? Yeah, let's watch it. Yeah.
We'll ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap this up. We'll see you after the election, hopefully with good news. But to wrap up, enjoy this video from one of our friends. Who's also a Chelsea fan. That's another different discussion.
This guy. I was stubborn Man City guys, man.
Chelsea like my cousin. So I like them. So but from a distance, But enjoy Rise Up by Paje, and we'll see you in a couple of hours. God bless you, and make sure that you vote.
I can't breathe. Somebody please call my mom.
Get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired. He's fired.
Lord of mercy. It's by J now. Yeah.
This is a public service announcement.
My brother, rise up, register, and make sure say you vote. This year is not politics as usual. This time no be joke. My sister, rise up, register. So make we hear your voice. Cause if you don't, somebody else them have to step in to make a choice for you. Day of election, we can't afford to take democracy for granted. If you dey chill and you don't get out, and I say you taking freedom for granted. You staying indoors while you sleep, can't see your home is haunted. Better be woke and study yourself, find out what the policies are planted. Everybody talking about racial equality, too much rampant police brutality. Enough leaders suffer from mental abnormality. Suppress the votes now, that's them policy. 2020 we're talking about Black Lives Matter. Murder George Floyd and everything scatter. Cause you try to eat them one kick away your platter. Like Black Lives make your vote matter. My brother, rise up, register, and make sure say you vote. This year is not politics as usual. This time no be joke. My sister, rise up, register. So make we hear your voice. Cause if you don't, somebody else them have to step in to make a choice for you. Don't forget you got the right since 1964.
Too many people fought to get the rights long time before that. Utilize it, cause we just can't sit back anymore. Those who get up and come out to vote, now them control the law. Mr. President in a massive corruption. All he does is lie, gaslight and deflection. Strangling the law, poisoning the constitution. Them no give a damn about the future generation. Can't believe in America, them rigging an election. Waiting with the witness at the raping of a nation. We all have to take up some action, cause democracy is facing extinction. My brother, rise up, register, and make sure say you vote. This year is not politics as usual. This time no be joke. My sister, rise up, register. So make we hear your voice. Cause if you don't, somebody else them have to step in to make a choice for you.
But even as we sit here, there are those in power who are doing their darndest to discourage people from voting by closing polling locations and targeting minorities and students with restrictive ID laws and attacking our voting rights with surgical precision, even undermining the Postal Service in the run-up to an election that's going to be dependent on mail-in ballots so people don't get sick.